What is going on, everybody? Oh, they're pouring in. We got all these GoPro clients. Hello, Vito. Hello, Tim. Got Maya clients. Hello, Nathan. Got some feedback, Coach David. Thank you guys for hopping on. Hello, Andrew. Oh, we got Grandmaster Park. Hello. All right, guys, use the chat box and say hi. Come on, this is a party up in here. Don't just, leave me to talking to myself. We're going to give it about a minute. Let everybody hop on here. Go ahead and use that chat box. Hello, Mr. Wallace. Hey, Jim, how's it going? Oh, Tammy's got some questions she was dropping in the MAE group that we're going to be answering today. Hi, Jen. Hey, Jim. Hello, Xavier. One of our GoPro clients, great last name as well, fellow Rodriguez. Awesome. Okay, guys, so if you know anything about the way that I teach and the way that I train, you need a pen, you need a notepad, because just listening to me, unless you just have the best memory in the world, I just don't think that's enough. And there's something that specifically happens when we take pen to paper. It seeps into us a little bit better, okay? But super excited to have you guys. So make sure you got your pen, make sure you got your paper. Sorry, not Grandmaster, but younger sister. Awesome. Well, hello, younger sister. Nathan, I'm doing well. My tea has kicked in. Nathan actually recently sent me a message on Facebook saying that he just had somebody sign up and they told him that they signed up specifically because of his Google review. So how cool is that? I love it. Kainas, can we bump the Google webinar post up to the top in the group, letting everybody know that it's starting now? The baby is great. Thank you for sharing. Okay, guys, so as you know, I always have a screen share that I'm going to do. So I put together a keynote, and we're going to go through that today. We will answer any questions that you have. So use the chat box. We've got our awesome David Bamber. He is moderating, and he is going to make sure that those questions get filtered. I'll do my best to answer all of those questions that I can today. All right. So let me go ahead. I don't like wasting anybody's time. And let me get my keynote up and share this screen. And you know what, from here on out, David, I'm not going to give recordings anymore. This is the last time. It's the last time, because we had 100 people register and we have 29 show up. And those of you that showed up, thank you for showing up live. Thank you for taking action and being here live with me, right? This is a free webinar that we do. We don't charge for this. This is, stuff that we could charge for. So I appreciate you guys showing up live and making it a non-negotiable as a part of your day. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. And once I share my screen, just give me 1 second, because I want to pull up the chat box so that I have that ready to roll so I can see your comments. All right, perfect. Reba says, thank you for the free webinar. I canceled something else for this. That is awesome. Thank you, Reba. Tim, well, when you made me over 2,000 in the last 2.5 weeks, I'm showing up. Thanks. Yeah, Tim's one of our brand new GoPro clients. He's crushing it. His school, Keto Karate, he's been doing phenomenal. So appreciate the shout out. Okay, guys, triple digit Google reviews, because double digit is not enough. I want you to set that bar a little bit higher. I want you to aim for triple digits. And I got some good news, and then I got some not so good news. And some of the questions that that Tammy was asking in terms of, Google reviews not showing up. We're gonna take a deep dive into this, because due to the COVID, the COVID situation, Google's actually working with a smaller team, and that is delaying some of the reviews from being shown. And we're going to dive into kind of, the things to look out for due to the situation that we're in. All right. But let's go ahead and get started. And we've got to understand this first, right? Our buying behavior has changed. Okay. Over the last, decade, our buying behavior has changed. My 92-year-old grandmother is staying with us right now. And, she's eating her breakfast and she's got her little iPhone and she's scrolling on Facebook. Like, she's 92, okay? She is very much with the times. But when you look at these websites, Amazon, eBay, Overstock, Uber Eats, Etsy, Instacart, okay, due to COVID and us having a brand new baby, we didn't want my wife going into the grocery store with him. So we now buy all of our groceries online. Look at your bank account. Look at all of your purchases. How many of those were with, an online company? And a lot of times it's a lot of Amazon, right? Do not whine and Amazon. Otherwise, you're going to have a ton of Amazon boxes popping up. But our buying behavior has changed. And because of that, our marketing strategies have got to change with the times. My goal for you is to market like it's 2020. All right. And in order to do that, you have got to have a systemized game plan with your reputation marketing. And when I say reputation marketing, that means what your digital footprint looks like in terms of reviews on Google, on Facebook, unfortunately on Yelp. Those of you on the West Coast, Yelp is a lot more popular than it is here on the East Coast. So today we're talking specifically about Google. All right. And it's not enough just to get the Google reviews, guys. Yes, we want Google reviews. Why do we want the Google reviews? We'll get that in a second, but 92% of consumers trust online reviews. If you surveyed consumers 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, and you asked them if they trust online reviews, they would say no. Today, 92% of consumers trust online reviews. They trust them as much as if they had a friend telling them. And this is a reason why you got to market like it's 2020, okay? And if you are still a business operator and you are the one that is operating the business, as opposed to maybe like an offsite, right? You're no longer on-site and you're off-site, you've got to make sure that your team understands the why. Why are we doing this? We can't just tell them, hey, I need you to go get Google reviews. They have to understand the why. And the why is, in order for us to sell a service, a company must establish a relationship with the consumer. And we have to build trust and rapport, and we must understand the customer's needs and provide a service that delivers the promised benefits, okay? So we want to get Google reviews because it is going to show people, it's going to provide social proof and show them that who we are and what we're selling has helped to change other people's lives, okay? So the ultimate goal is not just to get the triple digits, all right? I know I named this triple digit Google reviews, but the ultimate goal is to get new business with your Google reviews. So after I go through my top 10 strategies with getting those Google reviews for you, we're going to talk about how you can leverage them, because that's kind of step one, is getting the reviews. Well, then, Chris, I already have a ton of reviews, or maybe you implement these strategies and you get a ton of reviews. What do I do next? Okay, so I'm going to give you 4 different ways to leverage those reviews so you can use it to get new business. Because guess what? The number one question every school owner asks a consultant, asks their peers, asks a marketing agency. The number one question is, how do I get new students, right? That's what we all want. Our active counts, more than likely, are not what they were 3 months ago, all right? So we are in a recruitment stage. We have got to be recruiting right now. And Google reviews, if you know how to get them and you know how to leverage them, can help you get new business. And what I love about it is, I'm sure you can talk until you're blue in the face about how great and amazing your school is. But how much more powerful is it when somebody else does that for you? And that's what Google reviews do, okay? So if you've been following me for a while, you're in the Martial Arts Entrepreneurs Group, and maybe you've seen some of the stuff that we put out. I teach this customer journey, and really having this kind of 30,000 view up from the sky, looking down on your business on what the customer goes through Because many times when we're making decisions in our school, we're doing it from the perspective of us, the business owner, or of us, the manager, or of us, the instructor. And we're not looking through it through the eyes of the customer. And there are 6 stages that your customer goes through. Whether you know that or not, there are 6 stages. And there is a spelling error here that is driving me crazy. So there is a customer journey that every one of your clients goes through, that it's going to happen no matter what. And those 6 stages are awareness, consideration, purchase, onboarding, retention, and advocacy. Okay. And your Google efforts and your Facebook recommendation efforts are going to help people that are in this consideration stage right here. Okay. So once somebody becomes aware of your business, they know that Gracie Pack MMA exists. Okay. We ultimately want to sign them up so that we can change their lives with the amazing art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? But there's this step that a lot of school owners miss, which is this consideration step. How do we get somebody that's aware of our school to purchase? There's this consideration bridge. And that's what Google reviews ultimately help you do. That's what testimonials ultimately help you do, is they help move people from considering your school. Because guess what? They're not just considering your school. They're also considering your competitor's school. And then they're considering the other things that their child can do, whether that's piano lessons or soccer lessons or little league or swim lessons. So your Google review helps to bring somebody from awareness to consideration, and then from consideration to purchase. And that is what we ultimately want to do. We want to bring people to each one of these stages of the customer journey. And what's so great about this customer journey, right? Let me kind of show you the full picture here. What's so great about it is that once somebody becomes an advocate of our school, right? That's the ultimate. Once somebody is a walking billboard for our school, this cycle starts all over again. Because when somebody is referring and they're an advocate and they're a brand ambassador, they are now telling other people about their school, our school, and awareness is now happening. And because they are referring, they're a walking testimonial for you. So they're already getting people to consideration. So this cycle starts over and over and over and over again. Okay. And that is where your Google reviews fit. And what they ultimately help you do is to move people from consideration to purchase. Okay. Now, I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Okay. You gotta offer a rock star experience if you want to get Google reviews. If what you are offering, okay, if the classes that you're offering, if the program that you're offering, if the culture, the experience, the events that you are offering are anything less than what I would consider rock star, it's gonna be difficult getting 5-star Google reviews, but it'll probably be pretty easy to get 1 or 2-star Google reviews, okay? So I think it goes without saying, but it all starts with the experience that you're providing, all right? And you've got to be offering a rock star experience. Chris is asking, will the slideshow be available after the presentation? Absolutely. We are going to put the replay on our website, and we'll have the download in there as well. Thanks for asking, Chris, one of our awesome Grow Pro clients. Okay, so 10 key strategies to hitting triple-digit reviews. I practice what I preach. I'm not a consultant that's going to tell you to go get reviews, and then you go look at that consultant's reviews and they don't have any reviews, or even worse, their reviews are terrible. Let that sink in, guys. The next time you're taking advice from somebody in the martial arts, go see what their community says about them. What does their community say about them? All right? Strategy number 1, and we're going to kick off with my favorite strategy because I think everything else builds on this, okay, is a how-to display flyer. All right, a how-to display flyer. You cannot assume that people know how to leave a Google review, especially parents and especially grandparents. Our school is located in a heavily Hispanic area. And there are a lot of grandparents that are the ones that bring the kids, okay? I cannot assume that anybody knows how to leave a Google review. So we created a how-to display flyer that we put in our lobby. Okay, we create a how-to display flyer that we put in our lobby. We also put this in a couple of other areas as well. All right, so this basically walks them step by step. All right, visit Google and search for, and you would put your school name, Gracie Pack. Okay, if on a mobile device, please use your Google Maps app. Step number 2, click write a review. Okay, and we even have, if you're on a mobile device, do this. Choose your star rating. Notice we don't ask them for a 5-star review. Okay, I think that it's a little tacky when you ask for a 5-star review. Okay, ask for an honest review. Okay, and then if they don't have a Gmail account, they're not going to be able to leave that review, and that's a step that a lot of people get caught up with, especially people that still have AOL accounts or Yahoo accounts. Okay, so we want to give them information on what to do if they get stuck there. And then you put your logo on there, okay? So this how-to display flyer is something that you can just print out on a computer. You could get it actually printed larger, maybe on foam board or corrugated plastic or a metal sign. And when you put this in your lobby, it helps to keep this top of mind, right? When you put it somewhere in your school that they're going to walk by, it helps to keep this top of mind, and it helps to walk them through it. All right. So I would definitely recommend doing a how-to display flyer, putting it in your academy. You know, kind of the easy way would just be to print it and put it on a computer. You know, maybe laminate it, put it through in a stand-up sign that goes on your front desk. Or if you want to take it up a notch, print something that's a little bit bigger, because you can't assume that people know how to do it. Okay. Questions, but doesn't a perfect review seem staged? Someone posed this to us. If I gave you the option of having 158 5-star reviews or 158 4.7, I want the 5-star review. We provide a 5-star experience. That doesn't mean we haven't gotten lower than that. And I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you exactly how you deal with it. But if that option was presented, Chris, do I want my business to say 4.7 or 5.0? I want it to say 5.0. And here's another reason. And I shared this in the Facebook group. Let me show it to you. I shared this, that they are doing this in other industries. So let me just pull it up real quick. And that was really what kind of prompted me. So check this out. This is for a roofing company, okay? #1 rated roofing contractor in St. Louis. Okay, and then we have one for, this is a maid service. #2 rated house cleaning service in Dallas. How are you going to get that? They haven't released it in the martial arts industry. They're doing it industry by industry. How are you going to get that? The only way you're going to get that is to have the highest rating and to have the most. So for that reason alone, that should be why, you want to have a 5.0 and have the highest, okay? Susanna is, can you share that Google poster with us? Depending on how much everybody participates. People are participating. I will share this flyer. How about that? I just don't like just talking to myself. That's why, okay? All right. Step number 2. So that's #1, how to display flyer. Step number 2, you gotta ask. Mind blown. I know, that's crazy, right? But how many of you are asking? Okay, something that Mr. Metzger teaches is that your business is a triangle. You got your on the mat team, you got your off the mat, you got the lobby, and then you got the office. And they all need to be working together. So, how is your office staff asking for Google reviews? How is your instructor staff asking for Google reviews? How are, when they're off the mat, that could be instructors or your office staff, asking for Google reviews off the mat? Are they? Okay. I do believe the person that should ask is one that has built rapport. If you have not built the rapport with that client, then you should not be asking them for a Google review. And I know this seems kind of like, well, yeah, Chris, duh, we got to ask. But when was the last time you asked somebody? And I prefer to do it face-to-face. But if you're friends with them on Facebook, all right, sometimes parents send you Facebook messages. And I think that, especially with how hard all of our school owners worked over these last 3 months, and I don't know about you, but on a daily basis, we get people thanking us. We get people saying, thank you so much. This was the only thing. You know, the dance school did not offer Zoom. The experience we had with, Zoom for our child's school was terrible. The music lessons place that my child takes violin, they didn't pivot the way that you did. You guys just really knocked this out of the park. How many of you are getting parents and families telling you that? Let me know in the chat box. How many are actively reaching out to you and just saying, man, what a great job you guys have done? Guys, there's your Google review right there. Okay? You just got to ask. Okay? Jackie says, yes, we get this. Paul, yes, many positive emails. How easy would it be to just ask, hey, I really appreciate you, and those kind words. Would you mind putting that on Google, because I think it'll help other people just like your family? Okay? You just got to ask, guys. Ask them to post it as a review. Okay? All right. So Judy says, I get positive text, Facebook messages from parents quite a bit, but never seem to remember to ask them to give a review. Yeah, there's right when they're asked, right then and there. We get those comments, just realize we need to ask them to post them as a review. And how easy would it be to say, oh, well, if you're not sure how to do it, here's a how-to flyer. And you have that in an image and you just text them. Okay? All right. Jennifer says, thank you for letting us know how to ask. I find that to be the most intimidating. Yeah, it's like, something that Maya teaches before asking for the sale. How are you, Mrs. Smith, how are you enjoying classes? Number 2, how is Johnny enjoying classes? Number 3, can you see how over a period of time martial arts can help Johnny accomplish, insert whatever the goal is? We get affirmations, right? Yes, yes, yes. Then we go into the sales presentation. We get those affirmations. People are already giving them to you. They're reaching out to you and telling you. Nothing wrong with asking and coming from a place of, gratitude. Thank you so much. Would you mind helping us out? That's one thing school owners don't like doing, is asking for help. Why not? We all need help. All right. Love the flyer idea. Awesome. Okay. So number 2, we've just got to simply ask. Number 3, end of class announcements. You guys know, and yeah, this is going to be a little bit more difficult right now because of COVID, but, and depending on what your class sizes are, but when you teach a fire class, you can feel it. You can feel the energy in your body. You can feel the energy off your students. And Chris, all of my classes are fire classes. All right. Okay. But I'm saying, when there's like a super special one, put it in the end of class. Hey guys, if you really enjoyed, parents, if you really enjoyed the class today, I'm going to ask you for some help. Would you mind going on Google? Would you mind going on Facebook? We have a how-to flyer in the lobby. And would you mind leaving us an honest review? Okay? Do it at the end of the class. Does that mean you should do it at the end of every single class? No. All right? Because then people are just going to ignore it. Okay? But when you got those fire classes, end of a class announcements. Number 4, automate it. I do believe there are certain aspects of your business that need to be completely automated. Okay? And that they do make, that aspect of the business easier. But how many of us enjoy talking to a robot when we call our bank? Right? You just talk to, I want to talk to a representative. I want to talk to a representative. Right? There's certain automations that actually don't help, okay? One thing that we do is we automate our reviews with our new member nurture sequence. So we have an email and SMS nurture sequence that goes out, okay? And inside of those emails and those SMS sequences, we will actually send it out, and we're putting content in there. It's not like we're just saying, hey, will you leave us a review? We're putting content. And the way that I created this new member nurture sequence is I looked at the journey that our students went on. And they get one email every week for 52 weeks, for the first year of their journey with us. And it's in line with their journey. So about 4 weeks in, we stripe test every 4 weeks. So the 4th week letter is something about stripe testing. About 4 months in, which is when we're usually looking at upgrading to our elite program, there's an email about our elite program. Okay. Jackie says, I've done this in my customer journey sequence. Awesome, right? Now, these emails are written out, and literally people think that I am sitting there writing this email out because you use merge tags, so it has their name and things like that. But because it's in line with their customer journey and it's in line with what they're experiencing, they think that you're typing to them live. All right. So you can automate this. There are certain CRMs that will automate sending an email after somebody's class that will ask them to rank it, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. And if they do a certain star, it will actually bring them over to Google. But you would need a CRM that has those capabilities, okay? And the minimum, at least automate it in your new member nurture sequence, okay? Reva's asking, I keep hearing the great things I've done, especially during lockdown. I mentioned Google and only 2 went ahead. How can we nudge them? Well, you actually have a Google link, okay, that we're going to talk about here in a minute, but you can literally send them that Google link, and now you just made it super simple, and they click on the link, and that'll take them directly to your listing, okay? Paul, is it a bad idea to offer a copy of the flyer to take home? It's not, and that's actually what we're talking about next. Woohoo! New member welcome packet. So this is number 5. Nathan asked a little bit earlier if you can sync your Facebook and your Google reviews, and the answer is no. So I think his question is, if somebody leaves a Facebook review, can it sync to Google and it'll put it on Google? It will not automatically do that, okay? All right, new member welcome packet, okay? Your new member welcome packet. So when somebody signs up, they get this branded folder. Inside of the folder, we put our new student handbook. We also put the Google how-to flyer. We also put our private lesson packages, our birthday packages, and they get this once they sign up with us. So if you have some form of a new member welcome packet, great idea to put it in there, all right? And Tim brings up a good point, guys. If you have a TV, I know not everybody has a TV in their lobby, but if you have a TV in your lobby, you can circulate the images that are on the TV with the Google how-to flyer. And I would even take it a step further and screenshot some of the reviews that other parents have left and put it up on the TV, because that's just going to give you social proof, okay? Susanna asks, where do you get the branded folders? Vistaprint.com. I love Vistaprint because they always have coupons. They always have coupons, and I love coupons, okay? So you can put this in your new member welcome packet. Think about the times that most people are, the most excited in their journey. It's like right when they sign up, right when they get that second belt, right? They start with the white belt, so whatever that second belt is, yellow belt, orange belt, whatever, think about what we call moments of impact, all right? This is when we want to ask people. So moments of impact, I came up with this idea because I've been in the martial arts since I was 8 years old, March 15th, 1993, first day I ever stepped foot on a martial arts carpet, because they didn't have mats back then. And the majority of my childhood memories are from my martial arts school. And I call those moments of impact. And, certain moments of impact was right when I got my yellow belt, was when I got recommended to the Black Belt Club, when I got recommended to Masters. My very first seminar, I did a seminar with John Chung. When I did my very first tournament, which was an inter-school tournament, when I went to the US Open, when I got recommended to Masters, when I got my black belt, right? Those are all moments of impact. Think about the different events and the different experiences that your members have, and think about what a great time it would be to ask for those Google reviews. Graduation ceremonies, an amazing time to ask for Google reviews. Everybody's at a high. If you have an anniversary party, if you do member appreciation day, board breaking, right? I mean, just the concept of breaking through, of smashing through a board, right? A parent coaches seminar, okay? If you had an inter-school tournament, okay? So these are all what I would consider moments of impact, and I would look at the journey that your clients go on and see, what are the ones that truly stand out, where they're going to have an amazing experience, where we can ask them at the end to give us a Google review. And in many cases, it can be automated. You know, maybe they signed up for a graduation ceremony and now you have that, you know, those people on a specific list. So now you could send a follow-up email congratulating everybody. Maybe you put a picture of the entire, you know, the entire group that got their belts. And then in that email, on top of congratulating them, you ask them for the Google review. Okay. So those are what I call moments of impact. And that's what I would really look at. I would look at, you know, what moments of impact do we have where we can be asking for these Google reviews? Okay. Next up are drop-ins. So this is pretty, you know, it depends on where your school is located. So my school is located about 10 minutes from TIA, Tampa International Airport. Okay. And we get a lot of drop-ins. And in the jiu-jitsu community, there's something called a mat fee, where, and this could be in the traditional martial arts community as well, but there's something called a mat fee. And basically, you know, 20, 25 bucks, if you're coming from another school and you want to train, you're visiting, you're in town, whatever, you know, you would pay this mat fee to hop into class. Well, we actually tell them, in lieu of the mat fee, would you mind just leaving an honest Google review for us? And they are so pumped because they ended up saving 20 or 25 bucks. And then guess what? Because they have that money and they want to support us because we give them that rock star experience, they just will spend that money on like purchasing a t-shirt, right? So it's like, it's a win-win-win across the board. I would much rather get a Google review than 20 bucks for a drop-in fee, okay? So drop-ins, if you are, you know, doing drop-ins, if maybe you are near an area where you do get a lot of visitors, drop the 20 bucks, ask for the honest review, okay? Jim saying, is Facebook reviews important? So Facebook reviews changed to what we call Facebook recommendations. So before, a few years ago, you were able to leave like a star review. Now, the way that Facebook changed it, it's either I recommend this place or I don't recommend this place. Are they important? Yes. But when you look at a Facebook business page, the place that the recommendations are positioned on the page isn't as prominent and isn't as in your face as a Google page is. So to me, you know, it's not one or the other. You should be getting both. But if you did have to focus on one, Google reviews are just more in your face. Okay. All right. Jim says, I just sent a Facebook Messenger to a member asking them for a review and they just did it. That's awesome. I love it. Okay, next up, an ambassador program. Okay, so this is a picture of our ambassador display program. It says, do you love Gracie Pack? You want to help us out? This is a huge corrugated plastic sign that we have above our water fountain, okay? And why above the water fountain? Because there's a lot of activity at the water fountain, okay? And basically it says social media check-ins. Every check-in on Facebook gives back to a special charity. So we're part of a group called Sweat Angels. So help us back and you know, together by checking in on social media. Leave a Google review. Visit Google Reviews, search for Gracie Pack, write a review button, choose your star rating, and write about your experience here. Okay, next up, leave a Facebook recommendation. Same thing, and then refer a friend. If somebody completes all 4 of these, we give them a free gift. All right, so we call this our Gracie Pack ambassadors. If you check in on Facebook, if you leave a Google review, if you leave a Facebook recommendation, and you refer a friend, then you will get a special gift. All right, so this is another way to really just help, you know, nudge people to become brand ambassadors, to become advocates of your school, because it's printed and it's on the wall. It's something that they're going to be seeing every single day, and it's in front of them, okay? Next up, set up a competition. George asks, how do you keep track of the ambassador requests? We don't. So basically, a member would just say, hey, I did all of those. You know, what's my free gift? You could, if you wanted to, maybe get a spreadsheet and leave it, but it's just a whole bunch of work. And if somebody on our team, you know, or one of our parents or anything like that really, you know, went through all of those steps, they're going to come up to us and let us know, like, hey, we did all of those, you know, where's the free gift? Okay. But you could absolutely leave a spreadsheet, but that's a lot to track in terms of, you know, Facebook check-ins. All right. Number 9, set up a competition. Okay. Set up a competition. This is how we hit triple reviews. So this is one of my 18 mastermind clients, the Pendergrass brothers, Guy and Rob Pendergrass. They own Pendergrass Academy of Martial Arts in Raleigh, North Carolina. And a few years ago, when they first became they were my very first mastermind clients that I had. And I said, hey guys, I want to improve my Google reviews. We were both sitting at around like 40 to 50 Google reviews. And I said, how about we have a competition? How about we see which school can hit triple digits first, and whoever wins owes the other person $100. Okay. So what this ended up doing is it gave us a reason to ask our members, saying, hey, we're in competition with this jiu-jitsu school that's up in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I got $100 on the line to see who can hit 100 Google reviews the fastest. Will you guys help us out? And because martial artists are just naturally competitive people, everybody wanted to help us out. Now, I will give credit where credit is due. The Pendergrasses beat us, but we were able to hit triple digits shortly thereafter. So we all know other school owners. We all have made friends in this industry. Find another school owner whose Google reviews are around the same amount that you have, and set up a competition, okay? You could also, and this is going to bring us into our next one, which is a giveaway. You could also say, if we beat them, we'll throw a pizza party for everybody, okay? But giving away anything for a Google review, whether that was a coffee mug or that's a pizza party, is technically against Google policy. You're not supposed to bribe people for Google reviews. Do I think the Google police are going to come knocking on your door? No, I don't think the Google police are going to come knocking on your door, but it is against their policy. So just be conscious, about giving, any type of giveaways. Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the types of reviews, because not all reviews are created equally. Okay. Your best reviews are going to be ones that hit specific pain points, ones that overcome objections, and ones that tell a personal story. Okay, Zig Ziglar always says people don't buy for logical reasons, they buy for emotional reasons. What's the best way to get people emotionally involved? Tell somebody's story. All right. So I don't want somebody just to say best martial arts academy in Tampa. Like, I want to hear a story. I want to hear about a fear that they had, a pain point that they had, and how they overcame that because of the experience that I had at the academy. So this was one of the ones that I found. As soon as I walked into the place, I knew my wife and I made the right choice. Everything is extremely clean and well put together. The staff were absolutely superb and interacted with everyone that attended, not just my son. They take such interest and care with my son and talk to him in a completely different way that I know I couldn't. And where I thought my son would be nervous or scared for his first class today, he accepted the challenges presented to him with confidence and excitement. It's seriously such a great establishment, and I couldn't be happier with the experience. That is an all-star review. Okay, somebody's going to read that versus just like best academy in Tampa, and know that one, it came from this came from this guy's heart, right? So these are the types of reviews that we want. And we want reviews that hit the different avatars in our school, right? So if you have a fitness kickboxing program, an adult program, an after-school program, we want reviews that are going to hit all of those common objections that people would have in each one of those, all right? And like I said, not all reviews are created equally, all right? And that's why when we ask for Google reviews, I like to phrase it, would you mind sharing your story? Because I believe other families in the Tampa Bay community will relate to it. And we want these reviews from people that prospects are relatable to, right? If this review was from a UFC fighter, like how are parents gonna, relate to that? Okay. Next up, let's see, Michael Evans, one of our new Grow Pro clients. I was told a while back that natural use of keywords and review responses was a greater way to help to build relevancy. Do you think that still matters these days? I mean, I think anytime that keywords that would be something that people would look up to our school to find, just means that those are words that they relate to or art. So I don't, I've never specifically asked for them to use keywords. I would just rather them, tell their own story, but I don't think it's a bad idea. All right. Kristen Miller, what was the gift? What did you give out for the gift for the brand ambassador? A T-shirt that you can only get if you're a brand ambassador. You cannot sell. We do not sell the shirt. You cannot buy the shirt. That's the only way you can get it. I got that idea from my Taekwondo school. So my Taekwondo school, this is the slide we were talking about, right? My Taekwondo school used to have this T-shirt. It was a white shirt. One sleeve had blue stripes. Red stripes. The other sleeve was blue and it had white stars. So it looked like the American flag. And when you referred a friend and that friend signed up, you could get that T-shirt. It was their 30th anniversary T-shirt. You could not buy that T-shirt. Okay. So that's where I kind of came up with the idea. All right. I did a Google review on my student's parents' business because he's fixed my phone several times, and I asked him for a review and he left an amazing one. Absolutely, right? That's a great point, right? Do any of the parents or any of your students could you help them with a Google review? All right. So let's talk a little bit about leveraging these reviews, because I told you getting them isn't just the point of it. We want to be able to use them to get new students. All right. So how can you do that? First, you can take screenshots, okay? Guys, I screenshot all day, every day. Well, there's a screenshot, all right? If you're on a Mac, Command-Shift-4, and you can actually choose what part you want to screenshot. So I could simply just go to where our reviews are on Google My Business, and I can screenshot the reviews, okay? I like screenshots better than if you just typed it out on like a Canva and created an image, because I mean, you could really make that up if you wanted to, right? A screenshot is like, oh, this person is an actual person and this is what they said, right? So screenshot and share it on social. Put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram. And what that's going to do is, obviously, it's going to give social proof, but it's also going to help to remind your own students that they can leave those as well, okay? Next thing, you want to make sure that your website has social proof. So you could actually screenshot the actual images, or you could just have, many of the major websites, you guys know my favorite is Market Muscles, will actually pull the reviews from Google and pull them onto your website, and even pull the person's face. So how cool is that? You get the actual face of the person. I think it might pull it in from Facebook. I can't remember which one it pulls it in from. But they basically integrate those platforms so that any reviews come and they are pulled in onto your website, okay? Use them in your emails, okay? When somebody's in this consideration stage that we were talking about up here, right? When they're in this consideration stage, your emails that you send out, your reviews and testimonials, your website, any direct mail that you mail out are all ways to move them from consideration to purchase. So where could we put those reviews? We have a rack card where I screenshot the amount of reviews that we had and a couple of the reviews, and I put that on the rack card. So a rack card is just kind of like a long flyer. It's like 4 inches by 9 inches, and you put those in businesses, and I screenshot the reviews and put them on the rack card. So direct mail, right? I mean, that is going to provide you with social proof. Guys, you can talk all day long about how great your school is. Let other people do the talking, okay? So you can use them in your emails. You already talked about your nurture sequence for members, but you want to have a prospect nurture sequence as well. And to me, the best testimonials are video testimonials, okay? So if somebody left an amazing Google review, maybe they just have this awesome story, this is a great way to prompt them and ask them for a video testimonial. Hey, Mr. Johnson, I saw that amazing Google review that you left. Thanks so much. Man, that story was really compelling. Your journey with us was really compelling. How would you feel about, putting that on video? I don't think I've ever asked somebody and they've said no. If there has been a couple of times where we've asked some moms and they've said like, oh, I didn't do my hair today. Can we do it next week, right? But we've never been turned down for that. Okay, so your reviews are a great kind of precursor to asking for video testimonials as well, okay? And the last thing I want to say is, guys, you got to build this into your culture. And let me add that here, okay? So when somebody leaves a review and you see that review, first you got to reply to the review, okay? And I think we all know that, but we've got to reply to that review. But when that parent or that member comes into your facility, when they're in the lobby, I want you to walk up to them and I want you to say it loud enough so other people can hear. Mr. Smith, I just saw the 5-star review that you just left us. Thank you so much for leaving that. We really appreciate it. And guess what? Everybody else in the lobby is going to hear it as well. We need to make it a part of our culture that these things just happen. And I'm going to say naturally, but really nothing happens naturally. Something only happens when you systemize it. So what systems are you putting in place in order to be able to consistently get reviews? Okay, let's talk about a couple of things of what not to do. So I had this great idea, and I'm going to put great idea in quotations, to set up a review stand in my school. This was about 5 years ago. So I went and I got an iPad. I got an iPad stand, and I was like, oh, well, we're going to do a hard push for reviews. When people are here, I'll just ask them, because, you know, maybe they don't have their cell phone. Really, who doesn't have their cell phone? But, right, we can just have a stand that they can leave the reviews on. And this is a terrible idea. Do not do that, all right? Because Google will look at the IP address of wherever that review is coming from. And they will block the review if they start seeing tons of reviews coming from the same IP address. So do not do that, all right? Do not set up a review station in your academy, okay? Let's talk about a little bit about dealing with negative reviews, right? We want to kill them with kindness. You got to hug your haters. So about 14 weeks ago, this Maddie Manley, not even a real name, right? And guys, it's going to happen. You're going to get reviews from people that sometimes it's your competitors, unfortunately, which just makes me so upset because we're supposed to have integrity as martial artists. But sometimes it's, you know, sometimes it's people that maybe they're reviewing the wrong school. You know how many different Gracie schools there are? Or maybe this person really did have a terrible experience at your school. So this person left a review that basically said our school was like, it was like a glorified daycare. There were kids everywhere, and it was really, really loud, okay? So we went ahead and we left this response. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, okay? But we killed them with kindness, and we told them that we appreciated the feedback and that we respected their opinion. And now look what it says. And unfortunately, you can't see what it originally said because they changed their review. And look what it says. Thank you for letting me visit. It was a positive overall experience, and the owners have shown true black belt character. Good luck, Gracie Pack. Okay? So hug your haters, kill them with kindness, all right? And if you did get a negative review that is a legit negative review, be humble and figure out how you and your team can put systems in place or make any changes to the systems that you currently have so that it doesn't happen again, all right? But guys, do not be that school owner that gets in a pissing match with the customer, because people are going to read your response. And I know you see this a lot in hotels, in the hotel industry, where somebody will just leave a really bad review, and then the hotel responds and takes accountability and responsibility for what happened, okay? So takes responsibility and then leaves a way to make it up to them. Whether that's by, this is my personal email, please reach out. This is my personal cell phone number. Please call so we can make it right. Now, one thing that I will say is if it is a legit negative review that somebody's trying to spam you or somebody's trying to hurt you and it wasn't, you know, like a real review, what we will say is that, you know, we have looked through our database and we cannot find your name anywhere. Okay, now this particular person didn't use a real name, but sometimes people will use their real name on Google My Business, and that is a way to respond and basically say, like, you know, you're basically calling them out without calling them out. You know, we looked everywhere in our database. We checked our contacts, our emails. We can't seem to find your information. Can you let me know when you came in? All right. And that's kind of a nice, smooth way to deal with any kind of spammy types of reviews. Okay. So here are some tips when you're leaving, negative reviews. Be human, guys. Okay. Gather your data. That's what I mean by checking your, CRMs to see if you can find that person. Resolve the issue and use speed. Okay. If there's a bad review that pops up today, you need to have the response ready today. Okay. And if it is a legit complaint, embrace it and ask yourself, where can I improve? All right. So let's kind of switch gears a little bit because we are going to talk about what's going on with Google right now. And I've got some not so great news for you. Does that mean everything that you just learned you shouldn't implement or you shouldn't start training your team on? No, absolutely. All right. But it's important that we stay up to date. And this was a question that Tammy had. So reviews are not showing up. Okay. As of, I believe it was March 20th, 2020, when you were logging into Google My Business, you don't see it anymore, but when you were logging into Google My Business, it specifically said, due to COVID-19, we are short-staffed and it is going to take longer for reviews to populate. Okay, so this started right when COVID hit. And now when people leave a review, let me zoom in even more. Look what it says. So this is a screenshot of after somebody leaves a review. This is what it says. Thanks for your review. People rely on great reviews like yours to find the best places to go. Your contribution may be delayed at this time. Okay. So basically what's happening is because Google is short-staffed, they are unable to go through all of the reviews that people are leaving. So what's happening is some of them are getting through and then they're disappearing. They're going away. Okay. And some of them aren't even showing up. Okay. Now that the pandemic is, what I would consider slowing down, some of these reviews are populating, but they did say any reviews that happened during COVID will eventually show back up, but they have not given a date to when that is. Okay. So if you are going to do a super hard push on Google reviews, I would hold off just a little bit. I would get all your ducks in a row, right? I would write those nurture sequences. I would get your how-to display. I would train your team. I would talk to your team about what moments of impact do we have where we can be asking for Google reviews. And you could absolutely push them to Facebook to get Facebook recommendations for the time being, okay? Now, what are some other reasons that our reviews might not be showing up? It violates terms of service or is prohibited and restricted content. So Facebook basically has this website that breaks down everything, any reason why your review might not go through. Spam and fake content, it's off topic, it's illegal, it's terrorist, a conflict of interest, okay? So this is something that's interesting that just happened. Our 18 clients, that's my mastermind that I ran. Basically, all of our school owners that are a part of the mastermind were leaving reviews for each other to help each other out. Well, Google is now looking at where physically the location where that review is coming from, right? So if my school is in Tampa, but this review is coming from Illinois, then how is that possible? You offer a service. Well, they were traveling, right? So they're being a lot more strict about it. Now, there is a setting in Google My Business where you can put that your services are, worldwide, right? So let's say you sold products. Well, I've got an online store, so people all over the world would be able to purchase those products, okay? But if you have noticed people saying that they left reviews and it's not populating, it's due to COVID-19. And it's due to the fact that Google is working with a smaller team and they haven't been able to cycle through all of them, okay? Another reason why your reviews might not be showing up is that you have an inactive listing. Believe it or not, your Google My Business is a platform, the same way that Facebook is a platform. And you can be posting and updating your Google My Business. You can actually post on it like on a daily basis, the same way that you would post on your Facebook page, okay? So you can actually post on here, all right? And I use my schedule, so it's heavy with key terms, okay? So if you have not updated your information in a while and you haven't posted anything, this would be a good time to do that to ensure that your listing is not considered inactive. And if you haven't verified it, then you absolutely need to go in and verify it. In order to do that, guys, just go to business.google.com. Okay. Last up is if you don't at least have 5 reviews, those reviews aren't going to show up. So let's say you have a brand new listing or you just verified your listing. Until you get 5 reviews, none of the reviews are going to show up. So that's another reason why your reviews might not show up, okay? So use these strategies to get recommendations on Facebook. It's the same way, right? It's the same exact way. Make a how-to flyer on how to leave the recommendations for Facebook, okay? In your nurture sequences, you can put, some of the emails to have the Google link, some of the emails to have the Facebook link. Okay. I just don't want you to do a really hard push on Google reviews right this second because they're not going to show up. But what I do want you to do is to create your how-to flyer and implement the automated strategy. And then, within the next, month or so, hopefully, as everything is opening back up and people are in, their final phases, unless you're in New York, that those reviews will start populating. Okay. And I want to wrap up with this. If you guys have any more questions, leave them in the chat box, okay? But I want to wrap up with this and understanding the different 7 levels of marketing in your martial arts academy. So this is something that I teach. And you have 7 ways to market your academy, okay? The first way is with organic social media, right? Having consistent posts, getting recommendations, building brand awareness, utilizing Facebook Lives and video marketing, and leveraging events. That's kind of the first level is organic social media. And it don't cost anything, which is awesome, okay? The next level is search engine optimization. And this is where your website would come into play. Are you putting blogs? Do you have Google reviews? Have you been updating your Google My Business listing? Okay, and if you're in need of a website, I highly recommend Market Muscles, okay? The next level of marketing is paid advertising. That's Google ads, and that's also including YouTube ads. Google owns YouTube. And it's Facebook and Instagram ads, okay? And then we have email marketing. And if you look at these first 4 levels, organic social media, search engine optimization, paid advertising, and email marketing, those are all digital, okay? Then we have direct mail, phone calls, and face-to-face. Unfortunately, over the last 3 months, face-to-face was impossible to do. And what this meant was that digital marketing became more important than ever because it was really the only choice that you had. And I don't know about your area, but we're not seeing festivals yet. There's nowhere for us to set up booths. I doubt there's even going to be a Meet the Teacher this year. I bet Meet the Teacher is going to be in a Meet the Teacher in the Zoom room. So how are we going to set up a booth? How are we going to leverage the back to school time period in our industry? And I don't say that to scare you. I say that to show you the importance of your digital footprint, right? When March hit, we immediately transitioned to Zoom classes, all right? And we saw a lot of success with getting our students onto Zoom classes. Then we started launching our ads. And we started doing one-on-one introductory lessons. And those one-on-one introductory lessons, we were slam-packed, and our instructors were getting overwhelmed. So then we started doing free community events, okay? If there's another shutdown, guys, your digital footprint is going to be incredibly imperative to have built. And having this ability to know how to properly put organic social media out, how to make sure that your website and your blogs and your listings are up to date, how to do paid advertising, and how to do email marketing is more important than ever. And the only reason why we're doing this is because you asked. We had so many people in the MAA group ask about when was the next time I was doing my 8-week marketing mastermind. Well, guess what? We've got a date. It's July 21st, okay? So July 21st to September 8th, I'm doing another section of the 8-week marketing mastermind course. I think we've done like 9 of these already. We've had hundreds of school owners take these courses. If you're on this webinar right now and you've taken this course, let me know in the chat box about what you thought about it. Tammy said, highly recommend that course. Awesome. Okay. So if you want to take the course, this is where you're going to go. martialartsentrepreneurs.com, 8-week marketing mastermind. David's going to put the link in the chat box. All right. So July 21st, it kicks off. And that's what we focus on. We focus on this, guys, organic social media, your paid advertising, your email marketing, your Google ads, your Google My Business, your email marketing. Okay, that's what we focus on. And if you need to level those skills up, then go ahead and click on that link, fill the form out. We've got some amazing bonuses in there, but I'd love to have you be a part of it. All right. George says, was great. Need to have my program director review everything to get the mini nuggets. Yeah. So, guys, I think I'm pretty transparent with letting people know that after 8 weeks, you're not going to be a guru. And one of the cool things is you get lifetime access to the recordings. One of the not so great news is the platform is always changing. If you haven't been on the back end of the platform recently, Facebook completely redid the events manager, which is where your pixel and your custom conversions is. It's completely different. Our entire team, we had to go through with a fine-tooth comb to see the changes that they've made. So that's kind of the downside to, technology in general, that everything is evolving. Okay. Andrew says, I have some old reviews that I hadn't replied to online. I thank them in person. Is it too late? Would it be weird to reply now if it was around a year ago? As long as you still have a good relationship with that person, Andrew, you can reply. If that person left and you guys left on a bad note and they're no longer a student, I would not reply to that because that could just kind of, poke the sleeping bear. Okay. Jennifer, it was fantastic. I learned so much about building our digital footprint. Still have much more work to do. Thank you, Chris, for sure. 5 stars to the course. Chris provides so much information. Awesome. Thanks, Mr. Schwartz. Awesome. If you can't attend a week in July, do you have it available for later viewing? Yeah. So then all of the recordings are, all of the trainings are recording and you get lifetime access. All right, guys. If you have any other questions, now's the time. We're wrapping it up. I appreciate you investing your time and your energy with David and I today. We hope that you got some gold nuggets to take away with your triple-digit Google reviews. Remember, it's not just Google. It also goes for Facebook. It also works for Facebook recommendations as well. Hit both of those platforms. We appreciate you. Go and crush it, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.